The moon hung low, a pale disk in the inky sky. It cast long skeletal shadows across the barren landscape. Dust, the only witness to the carnage of past battles, swirled around the crunching tires of the military convoy. Their destination, a deserted enemy stronghold looming ahead like a slumbering beast. Inside the lead Humvee, Sergeant Andrew Thompson gripped his rifle. His weathered face, a testament to years of combat, was taut with apprehension. Beside him sat Private Ethan Miller, his youthful face pale under the green glow of the dashboard. Their mission, a reconnaissance op. Simple. Get in, gather intel, get out. But something felt off. The silence was too deep, the darkness too absolute. It pressed down on them, heavy with unspoken danger. Thompson could almost taste it, metallic and cold, at the back of his throat. The convoy ground to a halt 100 meters from the stronghold. Engines died, plunging them into an even deeper silence. This was it. This was where the real danger began. "Remember your training, Miller," Thompson growled, his voice barely a whisper. His hand rested on his weapon, a reassuring weight. He'd seen enough battles to know that fear, controlled, could keep a man alive. Unchecked, it would get him killed. Miller swallowed, his Adam's apple bobbing nervously. "Yes, Sergeant," he breathed, his voice barely audible. This was his first mission, and fear gnawed at his insides. The stories he'd heard about this place, they were the stuff of nightmares. Thompson checked his equipment one last time. A ritual, a lifeline. He could feel Miller's gaze on him, raw fear in his eyes. He'd been that young soldier once, fresh-faced and full of illusions. War had a way of stripping those away, leaving only the cold, hard truth. "Move out!" Thompson hissed, breaking the silence. The soldiers exited the vehicles, shadows melting into the deeper shadows of the building. The air was thick with the smell of dust and decay, a silent testament to the violence that had once raged here. They moved like phantoms, their boots barely making a sound on the dust-covered ground. Every doorway, every shattered window seemed to watch their approach, cold and menacing. The silence was unnerving, broken only by the rasp of their breath and the hammering of their hearts. Thompson led the way, his senses on high alert. The building felt empty, but he'd learned the hard way never to trust appearances. Danger lurked in the shadows, waiting to spring. They reached a fork in the corridor, two paths, both shrouded in darkness. Thompson hesitated, his gut churning with unease. He pointed to the left. "Miller, you take that passage. I'll cover you." Miller's eyes widened. He opened his mouth to speak, then closed it again, nodding curtly. Thompson saw the fear in his eyes, the unspoken question, why separate? But there was no time for explanations, not now. Section 4, The Forbidden Door. Thompson moved down his assigned passage, each step echoing in the silence. The air grew heavier, colder. A low hum vibrated through the floor, setting his teeth on edge. He rounded a corner and stopped dead. Before him stood a steel door, unmarked and imposing. It radiated an unnatural cold, sending shivers down his spine. The humming emanated from behind it, a low, insistent drone. He knew with a certainty that chilled him to the bone that he shouldn't open it. But curiosity, that dangerous primal instinct, gnawed at him. He had to know what lay beyond. He raised his hand, hesitated, then wrapped his gloved fingers around the cold metal handle. As he turned the handle, a faint red glow flickered beneath the door. His blood ran cold, a digital display, and on it a single word that sent a jolt of pure terror through him. Detonation. Section 5. Ticking Death. The door swung open with a groan of rusted hinges, revealing a small windowless room. In the center, bathed in the eerie red glow of the digital display, sat a device unlike anything Thompson had ever seen. It was spherical, about the size of a basketball, with wires snaking out from its base. The digital display on the device showed a countdown, 00:05:32, 5 minutes. His heart hammered against his ribs. "Miller!" he roared into his comms, his voice tight with urgency. "Get down here, now!" Miller scrambled into the room, his eyes widening in horror as he took in the scene. "What is that?" he whispered, his voice hoarse. "I don't know," Thompson growled, his eyes glued to the countdown. It was now under 5 minutes, but we need to disable it fast. Section 6, 0 hour. They swarmed the device, their training kicking in despite the paralyzing fear. Thompson frantically searched for a manual override, a power source, anything, but the device was seamless, alien. "There's nothing here, Sergeant," Miller shouted, his voice edged with panic. The countdown was relentless, ticking down the seconds with cold precision. 00:01:15, 1 minute. Thompson slammed his fist against the device in frustration. It was hopeless. They were trapped in a death trap with no way out. He grabbed Miller's arm. "Get to the door," he yelled, shoving him towards the exit. "Get out of here now. 00:00:10. 10 seconds. Miller hesitated, his eyes wide with fear. "But Sergeant, go!" Thompson roared, shoving him again. "There's no time. Get out. 00:00:03. 3 seconds." Miller turned and ran, his footsteps echoing in the silence. Thompson watched him go, a strange calm settling over him. 00:00:01. 1 second. Then everything went black.